Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Welcome to another card making day in Simcoe here. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Simcoe, Ontario, and if you live in Canada and you don't have your own demonstrator, you can shop with me. You can reach me at stampsandtea@gmail.com or my demonstrator website stampsandtea.stampinup.net. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to use a set of dies. And I think they don't get enough attention, this set of dies. They're called nested essential dies. So let's get started and we'll make this card. So the card we're going to make today really is to feature these dies, nested essential dies. There's 3 different sets and 4 dies in each set. So let me show you what we're going to do with these dies. And what we need to make the card. So we've got, what colour is this? Lost Lagoon cardstock, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. I have 2 pieces of basic white, and these are 5 1/4 by 4, one for the front of the card and one for the inside. Actually they're 5 1/2 by 4 because they're going to go right to the top and bottom of the card with just a little border down the sides. One for the front, one for the inside. We've got a piece of DSP from the One Horse Open Sleigh set, and it started out like this, and I took my second die and I cut this piece out. I decided which piece of the paper I wanted to use. I want the trees is what I want, so I've cut that out already. We'll put those to the side. I took a strip of basic white. Now how I started out was I had a whole sheet of basic white, 8 1/2 by 11. I cut off my 4 inches for the side, and the piece that was left I could cut out these dies going down the page like that. So basically you need a whole sheet of basic white for the card. So I cut out 4 of these using the same die, all 4 of them. There, that's 2. And all of them I put into the Fern 3D embossing folder, and I ran them all through the embossing folder. So you've got the beautiful shape, but now it's an embossed shape. That's the Fern 3D embossing folder. Just put those to the side and let me put the die back on the card so I can put it out of the way. Alright, so we've got 4 of these like this, all cut out. We're going to make a border to go around the front of the card, but we're going to put this onto one of these pieces of basic white. This piece here that we cut out of the DSP is going to go right in the center of the card. Now to get it right in the center so that your borders are all even when you put these pieces around the outside, you could, if you wanted to, mark the center of your card, and I'll show you how to do that. So I took my ruler. My card is 4 inches across, so I need a mark at 2 inches and a mark at 2 inches at the bottom. Just a little mark, and then down the sides my card is 5 1/2, so my halfway point is 2 3/4. You just have to do the math. 2 3/4. Now you can leave it like that, or you could, if you want to, draw yourself a very light line just down there and across the center, just to get your center piece even, because once you've got the center piece even, everything else lines up nicely around the card. Now you'll also need a white eraser to erase your lines, and I'm going to put it there so hopefully I don't forget to erase the lines. Let me get my little adhesive mat out here. Okay, so this piece, the piece of DSP, is going to sit right in the center of the card. So you see how easy it is to line it up when you've got lines on your page. I know you can't see the lines hardly at all. You can a little bit there if you're looking closely, but what I did was the points on the side I've lined up on the center line, and then I've looked at my DSP, and as long as these are lined up and my DSP is straight, that should be right in the center of the card. Okay, so let me just get some. You could also, if you wanted to, if you were really wanted this to be right on, this is, well, it's 1 1/8 inches, so it would be just over the ½ inch mark, and you could put a little mark there, and you're going to erase, you know, you're going to erase anyway, so you will erase that at the same time. So let me get some adhesive here. A little bit on my fingers there. And I'm just going to turn it this way. And I'm going to line this up right on the center so that it's aligned up top and bottom. Now you see how far off I am here. There's my pencil mark right there, and there's my line. So I need to bring this back this way, line it up again so that my marks or my lines are lined up. There, 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 and there. And I'm just having a look before I press it down. Looks good. So there it is. There's the start of the card. So now we want to erase these lines before we forget. And if you're using a white eraser and it's nice and clean, you won't leave a mark on your card. There. Let me just get a little more off up here just to be sure. There. So now you can't even see the lines. Okay. Let's put that out of the way and that out of the way. Anything we don't need can go out of the way. Alright. So then we've got these 4 pieces. Now they all went through the embossing folder the same way, stand like top up like this. The beauty of this embossing folder is the leaves go every which way. Now if you want to be really picky and you want, let's say this leaf here goes right up the card like that, see? And you want, if you're really picky, you could put that there. You can place them all around so that you've got, you know, pieces of leaves everywhere you want them. That can go that way. That's the same as that, so I don't want that going the same way, you see. So let's turn that way. Now I've got a piece here and we need it to go this way. Okay, so we've got lots of variation on the leaves. Let me just push that way up there so we can see it. There. So these 4 pieces are obviously way too big. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them all off at 3 inches. I'm going to cut them all off at 3 inches. Alright, so I'm going to bring in my paper cutter and just pull this to one side, bring in my cutter, and I'm going to put this piece in and I'm going to line it up on the 3-inch mark on my paper cutter there, and that gives me a nice straight edge. And I'm going to cut it off and put it right back where I took it from. Okay, this piece here I'm going to turn. I'm always putting the centered edge on my cutter, if you will. So it's going on the 3-inch mark again. And it really honestly does not matter which edge you cut off. Now we've got these 4 pieces and we're going to keep them. We're going to use the 2 of those in a minute. Okay, so here we go. Let's bring this piece back in. Oops, that's there, right. Okay, so we've got these 4 pieces like this. We're going to now glue them down. Okay, so I'm going to pull this and put it to the side, just because I want to use this mat. This piece is going this way, I've got to be sure. So I need adhesive on the back, this side of the back of this piece, and I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal. Make sure I've got lots of adhesive on. Just going to put that there, and that there, so I know which corner I'm working on. Oops, yeah. So this piece, I'm going to figure out how much of a border, how much of a space I would like. Really, it's governed by how much space you're going to have in between here, in between your edges, and I've got just a little bit. So that is going there. Okay. This piece is going here, so I need adhesive on this side. And again, I'm looking at this edge and how much space I've got. There's that piece down. This piece is going here like this, so I want adhesive here. So I'm looking at the point on the DSP and how far below the point I've laid this piece, and I'm going to lay this piece about the same distance from the point, making sure it's nice and straight, and that my space in between is about the same. There, one more, this piece, adhesive here. Same thing again. Whoops, got that down too fast. Making sure the space here is the same as the space there. There. So I've got this weird looking card front, and I've got 2 spaces, top and bottom. I'm going to take 2 pieces of this, 2 pieces that we cut off, and I'm going to set one in here like this, and the other piece at the bottom. Which way is my top? Which way is up? This way is up, and this way is going this way. This piece is going this way. And I should have about the same space all the way around. So there it is. That's the front of the card. This piece doesn't look straight. Let me just peel that off a little bit. Straighten that up. Check the bottom. We'll do the same with the bottom. Straighten it up. There. There. So we've got this weird looking piece of card which we're just going to flip over and trim around the 4 sides of this piece, of the base piece. And I'm just using the edge of the base piece as my cutting guide. There. So that's just those pieces I've cut off from around the edge. Get rid of them. And then we've got this, whoops, turn it right way up, lovely card front. Let me just let that sit for a minute to focus. There. So we've got this lovely card front now. We're going to pop this on here in just a minute, and it's going to go top to bottom. So we've got to find a sentiment. Now for a sentiment we're going to use the Regal Reindeer stamp set. And I think for this one I'm going to use Merry Christmas. Yep, we're going to try Merry Christmas. Now I've got 2 different pieces that I've cut out, and I used the same die set One is the second piece here, that would be this piece. This piece would be the smallest piece in this set. So we're going to see which one works the best. Let me just put that back. And we're going to stamp the sentiment in Lost Lagoon. Okay, and we've got some Lost Lagoon. And we've got this. This is the shape I really want to use, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay, so let me have a look. Oh, you know, it did. It worked well. It's nice. Yes, it did. It worked well. So that's for the front of the card. For the inside, we've got a little verse that says, wishing you a wonderful season filled with all good things that warm your heart and lift your spirit. Just going to straighten up the card. Stamp that in the center. Right. Give that a second to dry, and we're just going to pop this card together. So this piece, the piece we put together, is going on the front of the card. I'll just put some Stampin' Seal on there. Making sure the card opens the right way and that the trees are going the right way up. So this is going to go right to the top of the card, and because it's 4 inches, you've got 1/8 of an inch down each side. There, lovely. And I can see already that I will have to trim this little piece. See, you can see a bit of white across there. I will have to trim that. The Merry Christmas, we're going to pop up on a couple of dimensionals. We just need 2, I think. I'm going to set that right to the edge of the white. There. This sentiment goes on the inside. Stampin' Seal again. Oops. Working very well this morning. There it is. Now, because this is going to go the full length of the card, I'm going to hold my card up like this. If I lie it down, there's the chance I could go over the fold of the card. So if I hold it up like this, I can butt this up against the crease, the fold, the center fold. Press it down, and I can see that I'm going to have to trim this piece as well, just a shade. There. This piece. Oops. There. So it was just a little sliver off the end, but it makes your card finish in the right spot. Need that pulled over a little bit. So there's my card. I've got some, what have I got here that I can finish it off with? I have some little snowflakes here that came in the One Horse Open Sleigh set suite, and they're different sizes. There's 3 different sizes. So let's see, can we get these have the adhesive already on the back. So I'm just going to put one there, and we're going to go with 2 medium down here maybe. Let's put one there, one there, and I've got some really old gems. What are they? Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels. They are quite old. See, do I want to put a green rhinestone in the middle of these snowflakes? Oh, I do. I like that. Yes, I like that. Push and hold it in place for a second. There. That's it. That's the card for this morning. Oh, I quite like that. It's very delicate looking. I'm usually very traditional when it comes to making my Christmas cards. You know, everything's red and green in my house at Christmas. But there it is. This was my sample that I made, and I made that on Night of Navy. So you've got two cards basically exactly the same, different sentiment, but different different backgrounds, and it really does change the look of the card. So there it is. That's this morning's card. Now I can't take credit for the design of this card. I copied this card, cased it, copy and share everything. I cased this card from a lady called Jackie Vandesar Boot, also known as the Pampered Stamper. So thanks to Jackie for this beautiful design, which I copied and changed a little bit. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, if you do sell your cards, put your angel stamp on the back, which just says all the supplies used are Stampin' Up supplies. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week. Bye.